Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. From the beginning. Chaitanya Sarvagam Sarvam. Why is it that I'm alone chanting? Chaitanyam Sarvagam Sarvam Sarvabhuta Guhashayam Yat Sarva Vishayatitam Tasmai Sarvavide Namaha Samapayya Kriya Sarvaha Dharajñadhana Purvikaha Brahma Vidyamathe Danim Vaktum Vedah Prachakrame Karmani Deha Yogartham Deha Yoge Priya Priye Dhruve Syatam Tato Ragaha Dveshashchaiva Tatah Kriya Dharma dharmau tato jnasya deha yogastatha punaha evam nitya pravrittoyam samsarashchakravad bhrisham. So, the wheel of samsara is being described. It is indeed like a wheel, chakravat. Like a wheel it is, meaning it goes round and round and round and round. That's what a wheel does. And then if you look at the wheel, there are spokes. Right? And then what connects the spokes? Hub. There is a hub and there are spokes. So, here, if we are talking about a wheel, this is a wheel with 6 spokes. What are the 6 spokes? First one is right here. You can just cheat. You have the cheat sheet right in front of you. First is first is that priya apriya. Okay? And then after that raga dvesha. And then dharma, adharma, papa, punya. These are the 6 spokes of the wheel. But those 6 spokes of the wheel, they have to be kept together in the hub. What is the hub? Avidya, ignorance. What kind of ignorance? Self-ignorance. What other kind is there? That really matters. Does not. So, the self-ignorance is the hub. All these spokes lead to the hub. And the wheel rotates. What makes it rotate is also given here. Karma, action. Rotating itself is an action. And that rotation happens because there is that momentum. Karma gives momentum. Why is it a momentum? Because you go for a little while, you do something, go for a little while, and then what happens? You have then the results of action. And the results of action are not in keeping with your liking, and then you do more actions in order to get rid of that or get some new thing going. Remember, buying a device and then buying an adapter and then buying an adapter for the adapter. When it is so easy to adapt yourself to not having it in the first place. But that's not what we do. So, this is how the wheel goes. And just summarizing what we saw in the last session, karmani deha yogartham. It is the karma that gives rise to this body. What kind of karma? Sanchita karma. Karma that was collected. And then don't ask questions like, when did I collect? I don't even remember. That's the whole point. You collected it. And thank God you don't remember. Already in this life, there are so many omissions and commissions, so much regret. Why didn't I do the right thing? Why did I do the wrong thing? Why did I not do this? Why did I do that? Already there is so much regret. Imagine in the last life you were a puppy and you ran away from home, and then that guilt will be there. And the life previous you were someone else. It's good we don't remember. And even if somebody offers, even if somebody says, I can see your past lives, please tell them, keep it to yourself. Keep the knowledge to yourself. Don't give it to me. What is this? Past life is useless. You can't go back and fix things. Perhaps you can offer some prayers, that's about it. Even in astrology, you can see the past life. You can see in the 5th house, it's the sthana of Purva Punya. And if people have come to Vedanta, then the astrologers will always see the 5th house. Okay, let's see what brought you to Vedanta. That is a useful inquiry, but I'm just sort of talking about, this whole past life thing. What is that called? Past life regression. We don't need to regress, okay, darlings? Yes, we have already regressed enough. We need to progress, not regress. So, therefore, this life itself, out of this Sanchita karma, the vast storehouse of endless karmas that gives rise to this body, out of that karma, endless karma. They don't say, how did I get endless karma? How many karmas, how many janmas you had, how do you know? You don't know how many janmas you had. Nobody knows how many janmas you had. You don't know, only Bhagavan knows. But then when was my first janma? That also is futile to ask. Because the jiva, which keeps being born again and again and again and again and again and again, is anadi, without an end. Without a beginning. Jiva is anadi, no beginning. So therefore karma is also what? Anadi. Even one life if you have had as a human being, there will be endless karmas in the account, out of which one small pizza called, whatever the name is born. Is cooked and born. And then, so here we have a kind of an interesting wheel. Karma gives rise to the body, and as long as you have a body, then you are able to experience pleasure and pain. Is that not true? Yes. Pleasure I like experiencing, pain I want to keep it away. Therefore, two kinds of vrittis in the mind rise. I love pleasure, I don't care for or I hate pain of any kind. And what are these two vrittis? Raga and Dvesha. Raga for pleasant situations, Dvesha for unpleasant situations. Strong preferences and attraction to pleasant situations or things that I think will give me pleasant experiences, and then strong aversion to things that I think will give me unpleasant experiences. Then this raga dvesha, you see how each one is connected to the other. So the priya and apriya give rise to raga dvesha because I have fondness for pleasure and hatred for apriya, and that in turn gives rise to two kinds of actions. What are they? Pravritti, running towards the pleasant, and nivritti, running away from what I consider unpleasant. People, situation, objects, things, events, everything included. These are the two kinds of karmas. And when I do these kinds of karma, when I try to avoid something, what happens? Then dharma, the punya and the papa, it creates. Whatever I do creates a certain kind of punya, creates papa, and then because of that, there is all kinds of difficulties. So, dharma. Dharma means what? Punya papa. Yeah. So, dharma is punya. And then adharma is what? Papa. So, papa, punya, papa, all these things are there. What are punya and papa? Results of action. Punya and papa are results of action. And again, punya is what? Gives rise to priya. In this or other life. See, it's all connected. And papa gives rise to what? Apriya. And then that kicks in the raga and dvesha, which again leads to karma, which again leads to what? Punya, papa, which again loops in. See, samsara is one big loop. Inside that there is another loop. And one more loop. Makes one loopy. That's all it is. And then, so then dharma means punya papa. Tataha means from there. So who is this for all for? Don't say it is for me, because the next line says who it is for. Agnyasya. But I don't see the yes, it has undergone an elision, however you say it. Because there is tataha, that visarga is there. Like shivoham, tato gnyasya. So shivaha plus aham, shivoham. So similarly here, tataha plus agnyasya, tato gnyasya. Same sandhi. Visarga sandhi is there. So therefore, and that visarga sandhi is shown by a S sign called avagraha. It is indicated. This is a modern thing. In the past, it was not there in ancient Sanskrit. So then, it is for the ajnani. Oh, this whole chakra is for the ajnani. Yes, not for the jnani. How, why, we will see soon. Let us just finish translating this. So this is all, this whole thing that has been described in almost 2 verses, Agnyasya. So then this punya and the papa, what do they lead? Tataha deha yogaha tatha punaha. Tatha means in the same manner. What do you mean in the same manner? In the same manner as it brought about the life in the past life, the past Deha Yoga in 1.3, in the first verse, first section, third verse, in the same way, now the cycle is complete and now another body has been taken in the same manner according to the same rules. Evam, in this manner, nitya pravartaha means continually moving. Ayam samsaraha. This samsara is always in motion. Like a monkey, can never sit still. Even after it has a baby, it doesn't go on maternity leave. It has the baby and jumps from tree to tree. Unlike the baby kitten, which is taken by the mother everywhere. The monkey is not, baby monkey doesn't have that privilege. Baby monkey has to hold on to the mother for dear life. Because this is where the milk bottle is going. So therefore I have to hold on to this mummy. If I don't hold on, there is no chance of survival. That's how the term monkey grip came from. The baby monkey holding on to the mother with all its little might. And so, samsara is like this monkey, which cannot sit still. It's always in motion. By these various components. It has many moving parts. And those moving parts we have discussed. So samsara, what is that? Chakravat, like even a wheel. Bhrisham has many meanings. Here it means powerful. Like a powerful wheel, you just take one tire, even one single tire that is there in the yard. Sometimes people just stack the tires. You take one tire and keep it rolling. And then it has momentum. Until the momentum stops, it will keep on going. Similarly, the samsara also is fed by the momentum of your own ragadveshas, because of which one acts. When? Repeatedly, all the time. Because of which one acts, and those actions have results, and then most of the time what happens? I do not like the results of action. I do not like them at all. And then what happens as a result? I do not like them, therefore I have to fix them. And in trying to fix them, I have to do more karma. And when I do more karma, then what happens? More results in the form of punya, papa. These are all very easy to understand, binary. Oh, this is a hopeless verse. So sad. Even Adi Shankara is saying we are trapped. Look, have a body, check. And the body is because of what? Karma, yes. And then what else? Priya, apriya, yes. And then even in the retreat, so many things priya, so many things apriya. Hopefully not the classes are apriya, but you never know. So many things priya, so many things apriya. And then because of priya, apriya, raga, dveshas wake up, stretch, and now they are active. They start moving. They impel. They goad one to do more action. So then one wants desirable results, which lead to pleasure, naturally. And one wants to give up what? Undesirable results, which one thinks lead to pain. And so therefore, all my actions are very strategically let loose, unleashed, strategically. And then what happens? Then adharma means here punya, papa. Punya comes, papa comes. And then punya comes, papa comes, what to do? Another pizza. Yes, another body. Another body has to be taken up. Oh, already I feel like a nobody. Exactly. Nobody 2.0 next time. That's all it is. Then what happens? Then the same thing again happens. The body undergoes disintegration, the body undergoes pain, the body undergoes little bit pleasure once in a while, but mostly it is downhill. And then after that what? Hard to watch, hard to endure. Yama, one great grandma said, "Come and get me. I'm in pain. I want to go to you." And Yama happened to be in the neighborhood. Yes. And he saw his log, Yama log. And what did the Yama log say? "Oh, she's due. Okay. Few days here and there, no problem." He waved at the window. "Grandma, I'm here. Let's go." "You inauspicious idiot. Who asked you to come? My great-grandchild is going to be born." "Oh, when, Grandma?" "November." "Oh, now it's May, 6 months. Okay, no problem. I'll be back then. Then he comes back in November. Don't be silly. My other granddaughter is getting married. So like this, even in pain, even in sorrow, one does not want to give up the life because the life is equal to forever. He's confused with the forever. And if we start thinking this is a very, 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 very hopeless verse because we are all trapped in this wheel of samsara which has been so eloquently described by Adi Shankara, think again, because there is one word and one word alone that shows that this is not for us. And what is that word? Ajnaha. Ajnasya. This is for the ajnani. It does not apply to the jnani, and it does not apply to the jnani wannabe either. To the wannabe jnani also it doesn't apply. If you want to be a jnani, you are already on the path of Vedanta, Shravanam, Mananam, and what comes after that? Nididhyasanam, all these things. You are studying Vedanta, so this does not apply to you. Habba, thank God. But why doesn't it apply? Because karma is a model, just like we have model in physics. The whole thing of karma phala, see, we can trace the family tree of avidya. Avidya, the grand matriarch. Like we see the royal family tree. Queen Elizabeth II, it'll be there in big letters. From this year to this year she reigned, and in this year she died. So like this, avidya doesn't have a death date, a general death date. It only has death date as far as one's own buddhi is concerned. So, avidya, grand matriarch. Because of avidya, what is there? Desires. All kinds of desires. We talked about this. Avidya, self-ignorance, gives rise to desires because I do not recognize and I cannot abide in my own glory. Therefore, I want to borrow glory from things. I want to siphon off the glory belonging to other things. And then I want to enjoy that glory vicariously. I transfer my own glory, which is unrecognized, to finite objects, people, events, things, etc. And then I try to enjoy that glory, and when that object breaks, then I cry. This is what happens. The finite, the infinite is projected on the finite, and I confuse the finite objects, finite relationships, finite people, finite resources to be infinite. And when they are shown to not be infinite, they are finite, there is grief and fear. Grief leads to fear, because grief means fear of endings, and then that leads to, grief leads to the fear of endings. Fear of death, etc., etc. So then, avidya causes kama. Kama is the son of avidya, second generation. Family tree. And then after that, kama also has a son. What is that? Karma. Don't say karma, okay? That you are allowed to say that if you have car trouble. Yes, then you say karma. Otherwise, what do you say? Karma. Yes, karma. Kama's son is karma, because karma will not let you sit restfully. It will not let you sit peacefully. If there is a desire in the head, there is a restlessness in the body. I have to go get it, I have to do this, I have to do this. Even if the hands are tied, somehow they get magically untied, unleashed. The person goes about trying to fulfill this desire. The force of the force of the kama gives rise to karma. So karma is the grandson of avidya, son of karma. Avidya, kama, karma. Karma has twins. What are they? Punya and papa. Twins. One twin is loved, one twin is detested. Punya papa go on to have children again. What are they? Repeated cycle of births, punarjanma. This is the family tree of self-ignorance. Here it's expressed differently because we have brought about pleasure, pain and what else? Raga, dvesha, etc. Very beautiful. This is something which the Bhagavad Gita emphasizes. Ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyaischaran atmavashyer vidheyatma prasadam adhigacchati. Devoid of ragadvesha, the yogi roams freely. The disciplined yogi, the one who has been able to discipline their ragadveshas, roams freely without any fear, like that one verse is there. So the ragadvesha psychology has been really well expressed in the entire Bhagavad Gita. Here it is touched upon. So then this family tree or this cycle is for whom? Ajnaha. Ajnaha means the one who does not know the self as Satchidananda, number one. Number two, Ajnaha also means the one that takes oneself to be karta. This is very important. The one who takes himself or herself to be what? Karta. Karta means what? Eater. No, just checking. Yeah. Doer. The one who takes himself or herself to be the doer. I am the doer, I am the shaker and the mover of my own life. Why my own life? Even everyone else's life also. I am the doer in everybody's life. And in the West, in America in particular, it's really a source of pride to say, I'm a doer. And they say it very proudly. Oh, that's good that you're a doer. In the Shastra, it's not so much. It's not seen as a good thing to be a doer. One is undone by doership. So if one is a doer, it's not that you just like to do. That is silly. Why do you want to do? Because one is a karma phala holic. I want to do because I want to see the results of this doing. I am completely addicted to the results of action. Addiction to the results of action make me identify with doership. Mint myself into a doer. Even suppose somebody says, I'm very altruistic. I do, but I'm doing only what? Seva. Here a seva, there a seva, everywhere seva, seva. This is what I do. I do only seva. You make this person sit down if you can catch hold of them, okay? Just say sit down for 5 minutes. While they are there, give them something to do. And then they'll sit down. Then you ask them, why do you do seva? Oh, so many people need help. So many people are in distress. So many people are poor. So many people are wanting. So many people are upset. And you just look at them and say, let them be upset. Let them be upset. No, they are poor. Let them be poor. Even before you came along, what were they? They were poor. Even after you depart this earth, what will they be? Poor. That's okay, let them be poor. Let them be upset. Oh no, they don't have education. Let them not have education. Why does it bother you so much? Then the truth will come out. I gain self-satisfaction when I do. So it's not that they're doing for anybody else. one is doing for oneself. In fact, one benefits more by seva than other people, than the recipients of seva. And so, there is no such altruistic reason. Yajnavalkya takes care of that in the Yajnavalkya Maitreyi dialogue. Just ruthlessly goes through every relationship in life and says, this is not for, you are not doing anything for the sake of anybody else, and if you think you are doing something for the sake of anybody else, it's a lie. You are doing everything to increase the pleasure, to increase the pleasure quotient, priya. Not knowing the Atma is the source of priya. You want to keep aside apriya and increase priya. Very systematically, he goes through every relationship, including marriage. He starts with marriage. Nava are patyuhu kamaya patif priyo bhavati atmanastu kamaya patif priyo bhavati. Nava are jayayai kamaya jaya priya bhavet atmanastu kamaya jaya priya bhavet. Nava are putrasya kamaya पुत्रः प्रियं भवति पुत्रो प्रियो भवति आत्मनस्तु कामाय पुत्रः प्रियो भवति. And then he just goes on with each and everything. Nava are. Are means honey, not indeed honey. Navai are. Not indeed, my dear. Patyuhu kamaya, for the sake of the love of the husband. The husband becomes dear to the spouse. But the husband becomes dear to the spouse for her own sake. Because the way she thinks, if he's not there, then what kind of security I'll have? What kind of status I'll have? This is why she supposedly, quote unquote, loves him. Nothing altruistic there. The Bhaja Govindam lays this bare even more. The wife that was so attentive, so loving, and couldn't stay 1 minute without her husband, finds one day the husband has gone. Not for a trip, but gone. Left the body. And what does she say? She says, take this thing away. Take it away from me. Bharya bibhyati tasmin skaye. That same body which she took care of so much, nourished with good food, all her life, all his life. As soon as the prana departs the body, she says, take this thing away. She doesn't want to go anywhere near it also. So that shows it's not for the sake of the husband that she loves the husband. And the parents don't love children for the sake of the children. Even though they may say every now and then, I sacrificed so much for you. I gave up so much for you. It's a funny thing to say, but people do say it because people do feel it. But they didn't, and the children, especially the contemporary children, they're very clever. They'll say, Mom, Dad, I didn't ask to be born. They will say that. And they have every right to say that. They are correct. They didn't ask to be born. And then the other way is also true. The child doesn't love you for your own sake. The child loves you for the sake of its allowance, for the sake of whatever you are able to give it. That's what it is. For the sake of its own security. And so he lays bare all the relationships to one another, loving relationships like in the family, relationships among friends, frenemies, whatever you call them, and then relationship to natural resources. And finally, he sums it up by saying, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. for the sake of this pleased self. I want to bring out the pleased self. And I don't know that the self is already pleased. So I keep wanting to contact pleasurable things in the hope that the pleased self will come out. This is what an ajna does. This is how it is. And the ajna is attached to karma, attached to doership because of the addiction to the results of action. The addictions to the results of action make one a karta. And then, after a while, one becomes a bhokta, experiencer of the results of action. And it's like a ping-pong game. Karta, bhokta, karta, bhokta, karta, bhokta, karta, bhokta. Somebody sent me a video of 3 kittens watching a ping-pong match. I was not seeing the ping-pong match. We were just, only the kittens were shown. And then you could hear the noise of the ball going back and forth. Table tennis, ping-pong, whatever you call it. And then the kittens were going like this, following the ball. This is how I imagine karta, bhokta, karta, bhokta, karta, bhokta. No wonder life is tiring. Doer, experiencer, don't translate bhokta as enjoyer, because there's not much enjoyment here. Doer, experiencer, doer, experiencer. What happens when one has self-knowledge? The doer is knocked off, falsified. The doer is a status, as it were, that is as though superimposed upon the I that is totally free of doership. Similarly, the experiencer is a status superimposed upon the I, the Atma, which is free of experiencership, being an experiencer. Atma is not the doer. Atma is not the experiencer. Who is the doer then? Ahankara. If we have to split hairs, here we bring in ahankara. What is this ahankara? Nobody knows, because as soon as you look into it, it just scurries away. Like a cockroach when you put the light on when you go home. Just scurries away. Ahankara, vicharam na sahate. 2 definitions ahankara has. That which cannot withstand enquiry, 1 definition. And the second definition is avichara sundaraha. The one that looks beautiful when you don't do enquiry. Like some of these celebrities. Nothing is real, from head to toe. Oh, what lovely hair. No, I hear it's a wig. Oh, what a nice face. You look so young. Yes, it's because I've had many injections. All kinds of injections. And nips and tucks and all these things. What lovely teeth. They are implants. What a nice figure. Yes, it's because of some kind of suction. What is that suction? Yeah, lipo means fat. Liposuction. The fat has been sucked out. Doesn't sound healthy at all. But anyhow, I'm sure it's fine. And then everything, nothing belongs to the person. And as long as you don't do too much enquiry, this model, let us say some hypothetical model who is walking the runway, looks wonderful. But as soon as you start taking everything apart, it falls apart. Ahankara is like that. Without enquiry, it looks wonderful. Avichara sundaraha. But still, what is this ahankara? The I notion that takes everything to be itself. My body, me body. My breath, me breath. My breath becomes quickly me breath. My body, my senses, the one that takes everything unto itself, claims an identity with the body, mind, senses, and a few possessions perhaps, and is addicted to this smallness and refuses to let go of this in order to see that the whole universe is one with itself. And it refuses to see that because it does not want to be decimated. It's like a king of a small principality in India. I have used this example many times. Who is woken up and said, "You are no longer king of Raipur." Ah, what happened? No, you are the king of the whole of India. This is what was decided. Still he is not happy. Why? What happened? Will I still be the king of Raipur? Is Raipur in India? Yes. If you are the king of the whole of India, are you also not the king of Raipur? Of course. Doesn't understand that. The Ahankara doesn't understand that it really is the owner of the table. At the feet of the table it is sitting, begging for scraps. It is the host of this party, called this life. But it mistakes itself, not even to be the guest, but to be a pest. And this is the Ahankara. So the Ahankara, Ahankarta iti manyate. Ahankaraha Ahamkarta iti manyate. It considers itself as I am the doer. It has, just like it says, my body, I am the body, my doership in the beginning, and then after that there is a complete enmeshment. I doer. Doer and I are one and the same. And you try to yank out the doership from it, it will hit you with that doership. It will not allow. Very difficult. And this Ahankara in the grip of Atma Ajnanam here is called Ajnaha. So for the Ajna, the samsara is relentless and infinitely rolling, going round and round and round. For this Ajna. But then we have to supply more things here. What about for the Jnani? For the one who is ready, even if one is not a Jnani, one who is on the way to becoming a Jnani. What is here? What is being talked about? We have to see. How will this whole samsara cycle be different? Because one understands doership. One understands, what is that called? One understands doership, one understands experiencership. Even if one falls once in a while to thinking that one is a doer, one is able to at least conceptually see that this is an as though superimposition upon the I which is free of doership. If the doer is falsified, what happens to the results of action? Also falsified, because the results of action are connected to the doer. The karma phala accrues to the doer, the karta. It doesn't accrue to the neighbor. My karma phala. It accrues to the doer. So if the doer is falsified, then what is done is also falsified. Thereby interrupting and causing the cessation of this wheel of misfortune. There is one game, wheel of fortune. This one is wheel of misfortune, not fortune. Total misfortune. That is what stops the wheel. Waking up from this nightmare that I am trapped in this wheel is what stops the wheel. It is indeed a nightmare. I am a karta is a bad dream that has morphed in the sleep, like a bubble, in the sleep of Atma Ajnanam, in the sleep of self-ignorance. The dream is what? I am the doer. Oh no, terrible. People are chasing me in the dream. One is saying, you robbed from me. No, no, I didn't. It's a mistake. And I start running. That fellow is chasing. Other one also is chasing. Third one also is chasing. I don't know why they are all after me. I run, run, run. I get out of breath. I'm ready to pass out. Suddenly the eyes open. I'm in a familiar room, in my own room. I wake up. Thank God. Do I continue to run? No. That was then, this is now. That reality to which I was awake a few seconds ago has nothing to do with this reality in which I am awake now. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti sanyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. Where is this from? Bhagavad Gita. From the tune we can make out. Second chapter, towards the end. That which is night for all the beings. Oh, you mean it's a Vedanta class? No, no, no. That which is really night for all the beings. In that night, the Jnani alone is awake. What is that night? The reality. That reality of the glory of the self as free, full, whole, limitless Ishvara, unto which everybody is asleep. Only one sole person is awake. The knower of the self is awake to that reality. Oh, but he or she must be so lonely. No, not lonely. Only. Yeah, but not lonely. Because there is fullness. There is no loneliness at all. And into that reality, in which all the beings are awake, the reality of the Vyavaharika Satta, the everyday empirical reality of pain, sorrow, fear, strife, conflict, competition, stress, lack, and sense of discontent. Everybody is awake to that reality. And you hear some soft snoring sounds. That is the Jnani. Unto that reality of conflict, strife and samsara, the Jnani is fast asleep. Night and day, Jnani and Ajnani. So when the karma, the karta is falsified, the notion that I am a karta is falsified, the karma is automatically falsified because the karma and karma accrues to the karta. Between the karta and the karma, there is a sambandha, a connection of cause-effect. Karta is the cause of the karma, is the effect, and the effect then accrues back to the cause, and then there is a reversal. The effect does a judo move on the cause and then becomes the new cause. Look at this, it's so fun. Karta is the cause, and then karma here means karma phala is the effect, correct? Then the karma phala gives a new body. That means what? New karta is there, and so the karma phala now does a judo move on this karta and then either troubles the karta or then is the cause of a new body in the new life of the jiva. This way, the cycle keeps going until the karta is falsified. How is the karta falsified? Only by Atmajnanam, no other way. Oh, but we should compromise. There must be some other ways. How about if I do bhajan? Listen to yourself. Do bhajan means what? What comes before bhajan? Do. Who is doing? We already established that the doing is one's undoing. Doing leads to more doing. By doing, I am done in. No, I can do meditation, same thing. I can do puja. All this doesn't work. I have to see that karma, action, and knowledge are like oil and water. They don't mix, even in a salad dressing. They do not mix. Water is water, oil is oil. And so therefore, for the ajnani, all these stages of samsara, each one leading to the other, is applicable. But for the jnani, it is not applicable at all. Bhidyate hridaya granthihi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. Bhagavad Gita. Yes? No. Mundakopanishad. Here, the phala of Atmajnanam is described. The hard knot of ignorance is torn asunder as a result of exposure and assimilation of this knowledge. Exposure to and assimilation of this knowledge. And all doubts scatter away like the fog confronted by sunshine. Chidyante sarva samshayaha, all the doubts. What is pramata? Who is I? Who is Bhagavan? How can we be the same? What is going on here? All that is gone. All the doubts. Pramanagata shanka, prameyagata shanka. Doubts connected to pramana. Why is this the only way? This kind of a doubt. Who is Bhagavan? How can I be Bhagavan? Prameya shanka. Shanka means doubt. All this is gone. Doubts are gone. Then finally, kshiyante. Worn out are the karmas of this karmani. It is more than two, it should be. Because remember, in Sanskrit we have singular, dual, and plural. If it was only one karma, it would have said karma or karmani. Karmani means all the karmas, including prarabdha karma, is gone for the jnani. From the standpoint of the onlookers who see the jnani getting sick, who see the jnani getting into a wheelchair, who see the jnani having a heart attack, all these things. From their point of view, there is prarabdha karma, the karma that starts at birth. One can argue. We saw this even in our own Pujya Swamiji. He was getting weaker and weaker. He was in a wheelchair. He was in bed. All these things we saw. He was on dialysis. We saw all this. From the standpoint of the onlooker, the jnani appears to have karma. But from the standpoint of the jnani, there is no prarabdha karma because the jnani has zero body identification. That's why whatever was offered to Pujya Swamiji, he would eat. Like a big laddu. Laddu means a ball of sugar and calories. Somebody would bring and he would eat. And whoever the caretaker was had to run and catch hold of the hand of the person who was trying to feed it to him. No, please don't do this. He would eat. And I've seen this so many times. When he was sick or some little sore throat, fever, so many devotees he had. So many people will bring so many medicines. He would just hold out his hand. And somebody else had to tell, already you have taken 3 different things given by 3 different people. I think it's time to stop and not take this. Okay. For that also he would say, okay. He was not worried about this body. And so, from the standpoint of the jnani, prarabdha karma is not there. Why? Because there is no body identification. And then agami karma. Agami karma is what you do in this birth. That will lead to other births. That's also not there. Why? Because the person only does dharmic things. What happened to Sanchita Karma? Surely that is there. Sanchita Karma is gone because of Atma Jnanam. The carrier of Sanchita Karma is the Sukshma Sharira. That itself does not travel. So Sanchita Karma, there is nothing there. Because the Karta is falsified. It's like a dead person's bank account. Who does it go to? Especially if, let's say, they have died intestate and not named anybody as the heir to their estate. Who will it go to? No claimant. So here, for Sanchita Karma, there is no claimant. For Prarabdha Karma, there is no identification with the body. For Agami Karma, there is no Adharma. And they don't need Punya either. That's why people touch the Jnani's feet, because it's a very strange logic. If you're standing up and you're just full of Punya, it's all going to the feet, they think. So they touch the feet, sometimes they milk the feet to milk the Punya out of the Jnani. They used to do this to Pujya Swamiji. Especially when we used to go to villages. I used to travel with him, and so I used to go to the villages. And in the villages, they would just not stop milking his feet. And I would say, Swamiji, you will have leg pain. He would say, let them do that. It's a belief. They want punya. That's exactly what it is. It's believed that, gravity makes so much punya is there by study. See, each time the Jnani teaches it, there is punya. And each time the Jnani does anything, punya is accrued. And where does the punya go? Gravitationally speaking, it goes to the feet. So you just catch hold of the feet and milk the feet and get the punya to yourself. That's the idea. So, but even this is also true. The Shastra, the Tattva Bodha says, the punya, since the Jnani does not want punya, what will the Jnani do with punya? Punya also is the cause of rebirth. You'll be born with a golden spoon in the mouth. What's the point? You'll still be born anyway. So, punya also the Jnani is not interested in. So, the punya is just hanging around the Jnani, and then the people who are surrendered to the Jnani get a portion of the Jnani's punya. And then, of course, it is impossible to be in life without doing some small papa inadvertently also. Because there are so many bacteria we are breathing in. So many die when we breathe out, when we breathe in. When we walk also, even though we are careful, we are all very careful when we walk, but we don't know what we may have stepped on. Sometimes you open the mouth to say something, a mosquito has gone in. Suddenly you have become non-vegetarian. So this way, so many things happen. So some small papa, the Jnani might accrue. Where does it go? Huh? Those who criticize the Jnani, unto them the papa goes. So the Jnani is free of papa punya while living. And when the body falls also, there is no causal body, there is no ajnanam, there is no traveling, what is that called? Subtle body, sukshma shariram is not there, and there is no rebirth. So, ihaiva sarve viliya praviliyante pranaha. There is nothing that travels, nothing that rises, nothing that falls. Right here, everything is resolved. So therefore, the key word in these two verses is ajnasya, for the ajnani. And then look at it in this way now. So karmani, for whom? Ajnasya. Deha yoga, for whom? Ajnasya. And then priya, for whom? Ajnasya. And ragadvesha, for whom? Ajnasya. And then again punardeha, for whom? Ajnasya. Samsara chakra, for whom? Ajnasya. Very nice. Thank God. Ajnanam tasya moolam syat. iti tadhanamishyate. Yeah, the Brahma Vidya Arabdha, it should be. That last ta after Arabdha, please cut off. Brahma Vidya ta Arabdha tato nishreyasam bhavet. Together. Ajnanam tasya moolam syat iti tadhanamishyate. Brahma vidyata arabdha tato nishreyasam bhavet. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Namaha. Harihi Om.